how you doing? I'm in a lot of pain. Probably like a 5. So maybe if I do some comic relief, can help with my pain control. So let's talk about Indians, Native Americans, and Native American Indian reservations. So my grandmother was from an Indian reservation, and I don't know how long my father was on one or not. So I would assume if you got a Native American that lives on a reservation, you have a lot of better stories than I have, and some great humor. So I don't know, but I do know that one day, when I feel better, I can, retrace some of my heritage, get in the car with my dad and drive, maybe to some of our Lakota or Sioux destinations, where tribal people are not just the reservation, Apache, Comanche kind of thing, Aztec. But, here on the East Coast, it would be Sioux or Lakota, get in the car with my dad, just be all excited to see, maybe where some of my ancestors are buried, where the people at, and then we're drive, and then we get there and it's a chipotle. Isn't that a good feeling? Wouldn't you love to go see the old homestead and it be maybe a chipotle or a Weigel's? The Inuits, they probably just drive to see their own ancestral homes, and they're just Costco's on the West Coast. Oh, it's another big boss Costco. Oh, Grandma and Grandpa would be so proud. Oh. Ooh, and okay. So with Indian reservations, there'll be people that will say, someone said they were Cherokee. They're out there, on the Navajo. They're out there out west. How did a Cherokee Indian get out west? Isn't the Cherokee Indian Reservation North Carolina, Tennessee? They might not be a real Indian Cherokee if they're out west. This is when you say, have you ever heard of the man Andrew Jackson? He's on the $20 bill. Yes, there were lots of Cherokee in North Carolina and Tennessee, but Mr. Andrew Jackson, in all his pride and glory, moved a lot of them out west. So yes, you will find Cherokee out west, mixed in with some of the tribal nations. Oh, Andrew Jackson. Oh, Andrew Jackson. Every time someone gives me a $20 bill, I just want to spit on it. But here we are in Tennessee, Cherokee name, Tennessee. Everything's Jackson Boulevard. Jackson this, the Jackson Theater, Jackson. Everyone's naming their kids Jackson and Mackenzie, Jackson and Kelsey. You notice that the town Jackson is almost all the way out of Tennessee. I think they're afraid of all the Cherokees. Ooh, speaking of Cherokee, have you ever made a phone call to the Cherokee Indian Reservation? Be it the hospital, the casino, any of their tribal nations there. You know what you'll hear? Ooh, ooh. Native American flute. Do you know what you'll hear if you call, for instance, make a phone call to maybe Amazon Prime or Capital and Credit Services, U.S. Postal Service, any doctor's office, or in any elevator, you know what you hear? Ooh, ooh. And you're like sitting there as a Native American, you're like, they steal everything from us. Everything from us. You know? How would you feel, you know? Everywhere you call, and, you know, anytime you make those phone calls, you're not a happy person already. If you have to talk to customer service and you're already unhappy and you're a Native American and you're, ooh, like, that's another, they stole from us. You know, I decided, I think that on my answering service, on my, you know, voicemail, I'm just gonna do, you know, some great throat yelling. You know, it's terrifying. That, you know, I was never on a reservation, so I don't know how to do the terrifying throat screaming. The throat screaming is very scary. But I think every time a creditor or some asshole calls me, that they get to hear some Native American throat screaming. You know, I wish that anytime someone is mean to their disabled friend, any Native American that sees this disabled Native American get hurt or made fun of, I wish they would just all throat yell. I wish I had some big brother Native Americans, you know, they do the drum circles and the throat yelling. It's terrifying, and I love it. I love it. It's way better than any new metal, and it's like family, which is the most amazing thing, and to the 13th level. But I often wonder, you know, when someone's being cruel to this disabled little Native American that's in pain all the time, if there's just not some Indian family out there just throat yelling and banging their ass out of that drum. I cannot wait to meet all my Native American cousins. And maybe they are out there doing some throat yells for me. But, you know, speaking of which, you know, there's a lot of things that people want to talk to you about when they discover you're Native American. And a lot of them, it is peyote and ayahuasca. You know, that's all the rage. I'm going to go to Burning Man and connect with the spirits with them. Ayahuasca. Around Los Angeles, California, doing the ayahuasca, drinking the peyote. Okay, I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna just think about this, okay? Whew. So, you know, and that is part of the culture, smoking the peace pipe, peyote, ayahuasca. But can I tell you that Native Americans invented Tylenol from a tree? Oh, did they get credit? No. It's not called Cheyenneolol. Cheyenne-aminophene. No, it's not. Tree bark. There are tons of things you can boil or smoke that'll make you high. Don't go and do it. But it's not just peyote and ayahuasca. All plants are medications. Let that blow your brain. You ask a Native American about medication and drugs and pharmaceuticals. You know, it's a whole nother field, but you know, all people want to talk about is peyote and ayahuasca and the peace pipe and the smokehouses. Us in our buffalo briefs, right? Yeah, that's another thing I want to do. And then you still have the people, I told you this, that this drives me crazy. Yeah, I'm Native American. Can I show you my nose or my cheekbones? You know, I'm not a doctor. Please, this is awkward. If this makes you feel good about yourself, I don't know why you need to do this. And I just want to be like, can I show you the list of things you've stolen from me? So, and then those same people that show you, you know, their nose and their cheekbones, and depending on what tribe, that may have nothing to do with it. But do you know, us Native Americans want to show you our hairlines, our hair that you know, our thinning hair at the top, which is heritage, or our double chins. You want to go brag about that, people? All the white people are going to brag about your thinning hair? Nope, probably not. No. We've had this conversation. I always put this in my comedy. So, being Lakota means I'm distantly somehow related to Sitting Bull. I am disabled. I've been disabled since I've been 12, been in pain. I've had a lot of things happen to me. The last couple of years, I've been in a lot of pain. Had a lot of miserable things happen to me. So many white people wanted to say, oh, just, you know, off yourself. Jump off a bridge. You know, fall down the stairs. You know, they really wanted me to be Sitting Bull, you know, in a wheelchair, you know. Please drink bleach, Dana. Drink bleach. You know, no thank you. No thank you. I don't believe in putting unnatural things in my body, but thank you. Now, you know, and I don't mind being Sitting Bull, but I'm not going to be one in a wheelchair. Just so, you know, you guys can get your rocks off. You're welcome to go to Red Rocks and make some music about it. But, you know, I am Sitting Bull, and I'm sitting my ass here. I'm sitting my ass here till I get all my shit back. And I might be sitting here till I'm 80 or 90 years old, waiting to get all my shit back. You know, and I'm 80 or 90, and I say, here lies something beautiful in Sioux and Lakota. I don't know what that would be. So I'm worried to Google, because you know that's fake, what, you know, my native name would be. But I'm sure it's something beautiful, poetic, and gorgeous. But you know what? I'm sure all the white people would just call me New Hampshire. I love you. Have pride.